Hi,
Hi, I'm
Sarah.
Sarah from The Upcoming. So lovely to speak to you both. Um,
Nice.
I just wanted to kick off really. I understand, Isaac, that Minari is a very personal story. So I just wondered the extent to which it was informed by your own experiences and why you were compelled to put your story on the screen. And then for Stephen, what it was about the script that really attracted you to be involved in the project.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah, for that question. I I wasn't sure if I'd have more chances to make films. I was kind of reaching that point in my life. So this was a project where I just wanted to be as personal as possible because I knew if I held anything back, I would regret it. And the timing of it seemed right in that I was becoming the age that my dad was when he moved us to a farm in Arkansas, and my daughter was reaching the age that I was when we went to that farm in Arkansas. So I just really started a process of remembering all these different things that happened back then, and I let those memories become the basis for the story. So there's quite a lot in the film that's very personal and very real that actually happened. And then the fictional elements are just as personal to me. You know, I look at all the fictional elements and still feel like even if they didn't happen, they're completely me, and I'm being very honest with those things. So yeah, it's a very personal project through and through.
And for you,
Uh,
Stephen, what was it about the script and working with Isaac that really attracted you?
yeah, I mean, when I read the script, he had written something that I deeply resonated with. It wasn't my experience specifically, but something that reading off the page, I was like, wow, this is so something that I want to say. And partly, I think it was because it was really unwavering in its own point of view. It wasn't trying to explain itself. And for that, it was really refreshing to read that it was a story about this family and only this family. And yeah, I feel very blessed to have been able to be part of this.
Mm. And I like the way the film works both on the very kind of specific level, but also the universal. So I was wondering for you, Isaac, what you wanted to say in terms of issues of identity. You know, certainly you see the multi-generational aspects in terms of, you know, the Korean grandmother and then the parents and then the kids, they've kind of grown up in America, and also the draw and the flaws in the American dream.
Um, I guess the film contains really everything that I was feeling and thinking at the time that I was writing it. So it's all in there, all the things that I'm hoping to say. I was never a filmmaker who wanted to preach any message, though. So I don't really have any singular message with it or anything like that. But I do want it to end with that feeling of a family that's learning to love each other. And to me, that's kind of what the story is ultimately about. Even if all the details within it might not be close to what other families feel, I think that drive that families have to love each other is something that we all understand.
And Stephen, how did you see your character? Because he's really grappling throughout the film of balancing wanting to achieve success on his own, but also with the needs of his family and being a good father. So how did you see your character?
I think he's very conflicted person, and also I think he himself uh, perhaps lives in a type of isolation, and I think that was the interesting dynamic to war with. I don't. I think Jacob means well. I think Jacob really has a heart for his family, and he loves his family. But he also doesn't have the language or the understanding to express that love. He thinks that that love is expressed through his duty and his function. And so he trudges through and trying to realize what seems like a dream that is for the whole family, but he comes to realize that this really is just to service his own existence and kind of perhaps validate to himself or feel the validation that he exists or has use. And that butts up against, I think, the ways in which he really wants to express this love for his family. And so Jacob is writing two lines, and it's its own difficult journey.
Mm. And I was wondering what your reflections were on the success, of Parasite at the Oscars, and also the success now of your film. What developments we're seeing in terms of Asian cinema making inroads kind of into the mainstream and being recognized at the highest level, I guess.
I think there's something that takes a more nuanced discussion to kind of unpack. But I think on a larger sense, on a visual level, and a larger cultural level, yes, like it's really nice for people to be able to connect through any medium, past the hurdles of language and culture, just to meet each other at a humanity. I think when we are talking specifically about like individual cultures, Asian America is its own kind of unique thing, and Parasite doesn't fully speak to that experience, and doesn't need to, and is not asked to. And I think for us with Minari, the thing that was really refreshing for me was that it was something that I could also relate to as an Asian American person, about this liminal existence that kind of exists between both worlds, that is its own thing. And yeah, it's been fascinating to continue to like bring this film out into the world, because I think we're still trying to define and understand what that means and what that is.
Mm. And for you, Isaac?
Yeah, there are times when Stephen's saying this, it reminds me, there are times that I just thought I was making a Southern farming film. And I was surprised to see that all the discussion on it is about the Koreanness of it and that aspect of it. Because, my references were Flannery O'Connor, and I was thinking a lot about what it was like to grow up in the South. So I think we are caught in a moment in which that sense of identity on the ethnic sense is very much what a lot of people are focused on. And who knows what that's going to be like 10 years from now. And my hope is that we kind of just start to see each other as human beings, and see the human story within all of our individual realities. And it doesn't matter what countries we're coming from. And hopefully the more and more we see of that, the better. But it's good. It's good that people see Parasite and they see something of that speaks to them as well. And I think that's where we're hopefully headed.
I think I'm out of time, but thank you so much for sharing all that with me and for this wonderful, evocative and amazing film. So thanks to you both.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.